Alright, so instead of just hitting the sketch, because if we hit that, we're going to go to a 2D sketch, right? So if I hit here, I can select 3D sketch. And in Inventor, it's the same basic thing. Instead of hitting the button, you can hit the fly out and pick 3D sketch. And so now, it looks kind of the same, right? Except I don't have a grid. I can tell I'm going to sketch because I have a sketch below the line. And I have the finish sketch button over here. But I don't have a grid or anything. Why not? So I'm not on a plane, right? I didn't pick a face, so I'm just in 3D space. I didn't have to pick a face or anything to go to a plane because I don't need it. So right now what I want to do is I could go ahead and pick a line. You can see as I move it over here, what's underneath it?
X and Y.
What's that telling me?
You want to draw an X dimension or the
Or Y.
Yeah, that's something that right now I'm on the X and Y plane. So I'm on this plane here, and you can see in red, if I hit tab, now Y, Z, and now these are red. Now Z, X, and those are red. So that's what plane I'm drawing on. So if I was going to do a circle on this plane, it's going to go that way. See, it's changing the planes.
Oh, the angles.
Mm-hmm. So now it's on that plane, now it's on this plane, now it's on that plane.
You need enter? Tab.
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 So that also means, so if I go to line, if I start at the origin, if I go over, look, I don't have horizontal. Now I have, my tooltip is along the x-axis or along the z-axis. Is that going vertical? No, right? Because I'm on the xy plane, so that line is actually going backwards. So if I click, see that line is actually going backwards, it didn't go up. If I want to go up, I need to get to my axis, so now I can go up. If I want to go back forward, I'd have to hit tab. And so, what's going on here? Yeah, because it's basing it. It's going along the z-axis. This first line. Remember, I didn't make that along an axis. I just kind of made it back where I thought it was going straight. That's why it's not going straight. So if I had started out,
okay, so it's more confusing.
going along that axis, hit tab, go up, hit tab, go over, tab.
Not straight.
So you just keep on going.
Yeah.
You just keep on
And I'll just
hitting
hit
the tab button until you get the right direction.
So if I click on them, I can see that one's along the Y, that's along the X, along the X, along the Y, along the Z. So then I line stuff up. Yeah, we just pull in here. So I can make these two lines equal, right? And we can make those two lines equal. I can put the fillets in.
That was hard.
Right? And this is the one time where you want to put your fillets in the sketch because it needs to be smooth to flow. So that if I want to make my circle, what do I need to do? So if I want to make that a round piece of element or something.
Put it on your plane at the bottom. Right on the edge when you started.
So I can do another 3D sketch, or I can just do a 2D sketch, right? I can just sketch. If I started that on this plane,
Yep.
draw a circle
Right on the tip.
from that point.
Put it in.
And then I'm just gonna sweep it. So that I'm actually picked that as the first for the profile. And now for the path, I'm gonna hit pick on path, pick on my path. So now there's that 3D sketch.
And that works pretty much the same in Inventor.
Exactly.
So what about dimension?
Okay, I didn't dimension all, but I could have dimensioned it, right? I did do a couple. So if I just go back to that 3D sketch, dimension. So from that line to that point. There. Like that.
So you can fillet and everything and then come back and,
Yeah, you don't have to go back. I should have mentioned it first, but I was just showing you a demo thing. So you just pick on the lines, and in this case, you want to do a line and a point, because that's going to make it parallel to that line when you plot the dimension. It's like if I had gone in, when I tried to pick this line and this line, it wouldn't let me, right? But if I pick this line and that point, then it would pull out parallel at that line. What would happen if I picked that point and that point?
Probably made it.
It would give me that oblique distance. It would give me just a distance straight between those 2 points. So that's the basics of the sweep. We can also go in and make a 3D sketch, but instead of using a line, we can use a spline, right? So I can pick my start point. If I have these, then I can move it around. If I turn this way, I can move it side to side, up and down. So kind of depending on where how I'm viewing it, it'll let me move it different ways. You're always kind of moving it perpendicular to how you're looking at it. So if I have it here, I can move it up.
But to have better control, the spline is not the best way to do it, right?
No, if you don't want, if you want it exact, but if you're doing like the chords on the desk, right? Or you're gonna do some loose tubing, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Because in Inventor they have the tube and pipe wizard, but that's only if you get the highest package. If you don't get that high package, you don't have that. So this is the way to do it.
It's on the student one, but you can't use it.
Is it?
Yeah. It's there, I've seen it, and it's like, you click on it, it goes, oh, error.
Okay. So, but this always works.
So
we'll draw that out.
but you can't dimension it, right?
Sure you can.
Only on leads?
You can dimension from that point to that point. If I went under smart, yeah, it's just I can just do the distance straight between them. I could also go in like to that line right here, and I can tell that line I want it to be along the y-axis. See now you can turn it, it's going straight out along the y-axis.
Sure, I hate the
So I can make it go straight into something. Or I can take that off. It has to be along the x-axis. By picking on the diamond. Picking on the arrow here, that controls the strength of it. Diamond
doesn't work.
is the direction, arrow is the strength. if I have an end that's not parallel, like this here, it's not parallel to the origin at all, I could go into features and make a plane. If I pick the point, that's my first point, and the spline is my second point, it's making that plane perpendicular to that spline at that point. So now that's my sketch plan I can draw on. So I can say, okay, now I can do a 2D sketch there. Draw a circle. And then sweep it. Pick my path. Pick my path. So then, okay?
So you gotta make
Yep.
a plane.
How can you add like a loft to that path there, if you wanted to?
What do you mean a lot?
Like if I wanted to loft, like one of the sides get narrower at the end, or do I need to do that as a
So,
separate?
Can I do, so I can't do that, but if I did, see if I could do on this plane here,
It's smaller.
bigger size.
Or bigger than, yeah.
If I do a loft from there to there, but this is my guide curve. We do it as a center line. There you go. So I use that as my center line curve for that loft.
So you have to make 2 of them.
Because a loft, you have to have at least two different profiles. So then you just have to use that center line and it goes. So that's a way. What you're going to need to do on your thing, on your steam engine, is take it from put your steam engine in the box, somewhere in this square, put your steam engine, and then you're going to have to route a tube from here out and into your input. So you can either take yours and edit it and make a new profile and just kind of add on to the little piece you already have. Or what you can do is take that piece out . Oh, I've got it for that other assembly. So I'm just going to suppress that part. There we go. So I just went into the assembly and suppressed it into my sub-assembly. So now I can make a whole new part here. We've never done before, right? We've always started in the parts and worked from the bottom up, doing parts first and then putting them into the assembly. Now this is what's called top-down, where we start in the assembly and we make the part right in the assembly. So instead of going to insert components, I'm going to go here and say new part.
Oh, tab,
Now it's asking me what plane do I want to put this new part on. I might as well put it on top of that piece. So there's the top, there's kind of my origin right there, over there. And so everything's kind of grayed out right now. So if I go in and tell it, I want to get rid of this little 2D sketch, and I want to make a new 3D sketch. So I could take that, convert it, right? I I just picked that inside edge there. I converted it. Now that's on this sketch. So I can say, okay, finished. Make another 3D sketch. Now I'm just going to do a spline. Start it from there. In spline. So we're just going to kind of get a couple points in there. That concentric and this concentric. Then I'll pick that inside.
I thought that's on the side. Wrong side.
What was that?
That's not your hole, is it? Right there? I thought it was on the side.
Put it in there. I made this one right here point out along the Y. This one right here. And I made that along the Z. Like that. Oops, sorry, I've gotten that out of that first sketch. I'm going to just make another 2D sketch on that and convert that into. Now I can go in and do my sweep path there. It'll have to be a thin feature. So there's my tube. So there's my air pipe. So something like that. You make it, it'd be nice if it was touching the table, right? Not just hanging in midair. If I just go to the front view, and just go back into that, back to my 3D sketch, edit. Since I don't have that sketch constrained, I can just kind of move it around and hit update. Just click on it, grab my points. Hit update. Too low. You get the idea, right? since it's not a tied down thing, I could put it kind of however I want. Yeah, you're right, I am
Yeah, so it's like.
doing that wrong. Should go into there.
What was that?
I don't know.
Barely get there.
So you gotta go in there, right? So I could go in.
You'd have a hose flying around.
Well, that was my valve. And now it's way under the table. But you got the idea, right? So you line it up, you use your 3D polyline to go in.
It's a magic hose.
Yeah. The magic disappearing hose. Right? So that's gonna be the first lab that you're gonna need to turn in is showing me this assembled like this. Having the assembly together, working with your hose in. Okay? Questions? Yep. We'll do that later. And you're also going to need to make sure that this end is the right size to fit into your hole. So if you need to make it stop short and then do a little taper adapter or something to make it fit in, you need to do that also. Okay?
Yeah, I gotta make a little adapter. Do it on the 16th.
Yeah, or you can do an adapter on this side to take it down to a smaller diameter hose to go in either way. You can either do an adapter here, a separate piece, or it's just the tubing that's been crimped or made smaller, or you can do an adapter over there.
And you said that's 1/4 inch?
Yeah, I think so.
Whatever the holes in your pump in there.
It's a quarter.
Yeah, I think it's a 1/4. So, questions on that? No. All right.
Yeah, do you want us to have?
And then when you save it, it's gonna ask you for how you want that to be. So if you don't do anything, it's gonna just make a name up for it. If you come over here, you right click and rename it. That'll let you change the name. So that way when you hit save, it's gonna name it as hose. Or you can just right click, save part, and give it a new path, which is what I would do. I'd save it like that. That way it's gonna make its own part, not just be part of the assembly. Okay? So questions? What was the rest of yours?
Do you want us to actually bolt our steam engine to the table? Like drill
It might
holes
be
in the
nice.
table and-
You don't need to. For right now, just put it on top. By the end of the semester, you're put screws in.
Yeah, put some glue down.
What?
I'll put some glue down first.
Some pop
All right. So that was SolidWorks. I'm also going to show you how to do it in Inventor, just so you can see the difference.